What's up, guys? Welcome to the world's greatest sports betting show. I'm your host, John Heislop, joined always by my friend with the red undershirt on, the great Matt Modi. What's up, Matt?
What's up, Slop? How we doing?
Just living the dream, man. Just surviving yesterday. Dude, having football back kind of hurts you on Tuesday, Wednesday.
Sure does.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it's like, man, there's just not a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. I ended up, after the show, taking the Brewers team total over 3.5. They scored 4 runs. So that's good.
Yep,
they got there pretty early. So it didn't feel like it was a, sweat or whatever we want to call it. But it was pretty electric. I won't lie to you. I had a great time betting that and watching it play out. So there is hope. But no home run bets. You know what I'm saying? Like without home run bets that I can actually bet MLB, have fun watching it, and make some money. I did use a 30% profit boost, so it was like 100 to get 99. So it was that. But they let me bet $100. Like FanDuel, shout out, man. Like, thank you so much, dude, like for $100. Because the other ones, dude, at DraftKings, it's $10. At Caesars, here's your 100% boost, maximum $5.
Yeah. Thanks for the 100% boost. That's really nice of you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, DraftKings, not only do they say it's a $10, and then when I try to bet it, they even limit that. Like, oh, that's over your maximum allowed limit. It's like, well, don't tell me I can bet $10.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And then they won't let you bet it though. Have you run into that where they're like, oh, you can bet it, and you're like, well, wait a minute, like, so I don't get the boost then?
Yeah, this bet's been rejected. It's like I just can't get it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, why would you send me this?
Yeah, why tell me? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, the dingers yesterday was, 3 of the games had no home runs, and then the other game had 2, and it was like Tatis in the first inning.
Tatis.
And then
Circle trust guy. Checking in.
I should have bet him. It's one of those things where well, he's too obvious, so I'm not going to bet. You know what I mean? Like I sometimes struggle with that, where it's like, oh, the too obvious guy, I'm not going to take him, and then guess what? He hits a home run.
Yeah, I'm going to get into the obvious guy.
Okay.
Like I'm moving that direction next season. I've already written down a few things that I'm gonna try. We gotta hit that milli. Hit that milli. Maybe shrink it to 7. That's a thought, but then we're putting $10 every day. But if we're doing hits, runs, RBIs, or pitcher strikeouts, or team totals at 1 unit, then you can kind of afford to literally siphon off $10 daily.
Yeah, and if you just put a little bit on a round robin, which I'll continue to recommend, you hit 2 of those 7, and you're at least getting your money back.
That's
not
true.
A little bit.
Yep, that's true. So
Something
maybe,
to think about.
Yep, maybe that again. Bankroll strategy is more important than who you bet on. I will die on that hill. Like it's more important than who you bet on. It really is. Like
100%. Yep.
How much you bet is more important than who you bet on. It sounds crazy to say that, but whenever you've done this long enough and you can zoom out and look at all your bets, that's why it's important to track and see like where you're at. You'll realize like, man, if I just had some sort of strategy, like with like how much I'm betting, that would be, a welcome addition to who I'm actually betting on.
Yeah.
But
it's important.
So there's that. So for next year, but I don't want to keep saying next year because this year's not over yet.
Sure isn't.
Did you see anything today in those 4 games? And we do have 4 games on. They are during the day. I think we're kind of, I don't know, like we're kind of selling ourselves short by not taking anything.
Yeah, So I went 0 for 3 on my plays yesterday, and if you count the 3 home runs, it's 0 for 5. So no one's ever been more due for winning an MLB bet than me. So I think we're in a good spot there.
Did you take all home runs?
No, I did 3 home runs and 2 strikeout props.
Okay. So who did you have for strikeouts?
I had Framber Valdez, which he was only, I had him at 7+. I think he got to 3. So he was right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then I had Corbin Burns.
Strike out the side.
I had Corbin Burns actually had an under, which I forgot to actually check. I know that bet lost. I forgot to check to see how he did. I had an under 4.5. He had 3. I did win a bet. Someone told me that bet lost. There we go. So I'm 1-4.
Okay.
In my last 5. I'm still due, but I'm just maybe not quite as
a little less due.
Yeah, that feels good. Today I just went home runs, quarter unit each.
Okay.
One of them is it was almost strictly an odds perspective or odds line shopping play. It was Alex Bregman at plus 710 at Fanatics.
Okay.
We don't like Fanatics, but like they have no reason to price him at 710. The closest book was FanDuel at 630, and every other book was in the 500s.
Okay.
And I don't know if you watched that game yesterday, but he almost took Skubal a yard. I mean, he hit like the tippy top of that left field fence, and he hit the ball so hard that he only ended up getting a single out of it because he like just smacked it. Yeah. And like they got an opener, and then they have Reese Olson, who's not a dinger guy, but he's not Tariq Skubal.
Kind of is a dinger. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. He's definitely not a dinger guy. Like that's 100% not a dinger guy, but not a dinger guy.
Yeah, he's in that category for sure. And then the other home runs I had, it was two Mets guys because I mean Frankie Montas is 100% a dinger guy.
Bro.
And I had Lindor and Brandon Nimmo. Those are the two.
Yeah, I don't want you to steal my shit, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I think the Mets score at least 4 runs. Okay, their team total is 3.5, like minus 128 or something like that. I'm thinking about using they gave me another 30% profit boost. So I'm back in the profit boost game today, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to use it on the Mets team total over 3.5. I don't like the time of the game. Shit starts going sideways. You got about an hour. Now you're looking, I don't know. You might have to go to bed a loser, I guess is what I'm saying, if things don't start breaking. I would love if this game was at 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we had the Orioles game after it. So I think the Orioles too. Yeah, I think the Orioles are in a spot that maybe they score 4. I think the Mets are in a spot. They're in what I call the magic spot because I feel like they're kind of magic right now.
They are, yeah.
All right, so you got the magic, whatever you want to call it, working with you, and then you got the Frankie aspect, and the Frankie aspect pretty important because the Frankie aspect is 28% barrel rate in the last month to lefties.
Yep.
13% to righties in the last month, and that is about 50 to each guy. To each side. It's
not great.
Yeah. So I mean that's not the largest sample size, but that's not totally insignificant either. So then you look and you see, all right, so the first thing I would do is how are the Mets hitting fastballs in the last month from righties? Lindor, 7% barrel rate, Nimmo 22% barrel rate, Alonso 44% barrel rate, Marte 14% barrel rate. You start to look and you're like, okay, like these guys are kind of cooking with grease. They just saw this guy last time he pitched. It was against the Mets.
Yeah.
I think that the last 2 or 3 starts that he's had, every team has gone 4+. And at the end of the day, 4 runs, not a lot. You could do that on one swing of the bat.
You sure could. Yeah. I mean, Nimmo, if people only wanted to take one home run bet today, in my opinion, it would be Brandon Nimmo because Montas, like basically the only 3 pitches he throws are forms of a fastball. It's either a 4-seam fastball, a cutter, or a sinker, which are like under the fastball category. And Nimmo just annihilates those pitches. Like he's hit 4 home runs in the last 2 weeks. All 4 of them have been off of that pitch mix from right-handed pitching. It's like a 22% barrel rate, 50% fly ball rate, like 68% hard hit rate. Just if I remember correctly, looking at my notes. So yeah, Nimmo is definitely my favorite. He was plus 500 at FanDuel when I locked him in. And yeah, like I said, I have 3. I put a quarter unit on each. If you only wanted to bet one, it would be Nimmo.
Okay. Yeah, so that'll get me through the night because that's a 7:38 game. That'll be about the time. We've been watching the Menendez brothers, that doc on Netflix. So I'll probably put it on the computer and leave that next to me and just kind of, you know what I'm saying, just watch it like that. Or I might even watch just the score on the phone and then watch NFL Pro, like one of the games, you know what I'm saying, from last week. Because they just show you the play, so it only takes like 30, 40 minutes. You can watch a whole game.
Yeah, very quickly.
It gives you an idea. You want to see what these guys look like. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell are they doing? Also, we talked about yesterday, you don't want to miss, like, there was a penalty and, this guy did this, and you would miss that if you're just box score surfing.
Yeah.
So this way you can at least see what these guys look like. And then, yeah, so I think I got a pretty good night set up for myself. I just talked myself into it. I'm definitely going to do the Mets over 3.5, use that profit boost, and
So
I'll show you what I'm going to get. I'm going to take it right now.
Is your profit boost an SGP or is it on anything?
No, it's on a single bet. 30% profit boost.
I don't think I have that. I think mine was only for an SGP. FanDuel has not quite treated me the same way that they treated you.
That just ruined my day, dude. Yeah. No, that's on. Hang on. I thought I put it in and it said, no, it does. You're right, dude. It's on a. All right. So my night's back to ruined.
Sorry. I didn't mean to ruin your night,
dude. Like I thought because that's what it was yesterday.
Oh, yeah, mine was not.
Giving me the same thing again. So I guess I'm not doing that because I'm not going to take 3.5 minus 128, and I'm not going to parlay it with anything because there's nothing else I really like. I mean, Nemo, all that stuff, but like, I don't know. I definitely liked having the 3.5 yesterday with no strings attached. Just figure 4, you're all set. So yeah. If you want, though, you can take that. But, yeah, I don't know. It's not that. I just hit the problem. I saw the 30%, and that's what it was yesterday. So I hit it, and I never looked at it. And then, yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it says 3+ leg SGP. And good luck with that. Good luck with the other 2 legs.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like a hit parlay. I don't know if you're a hit parlay kind of guy.
But it's specific guys. Whereas yesterday, that was kind of fun. Being like, I don't give a shit who gets a hit right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hoskins comes up to bat, bases loaded, gets beamed, and I'm like, yes. Normally, I'd be so mad. You know what I mean? Because you'd be like, dude, he was going to hit a home run.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to boost my my 3-leg home run parlay. Or the 3, sorry, I boost all 3 home runs I have, use my profit boost on that. $5 to win over $1,000.
That feels like the smart thing to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'll tweet that out later.
All right.
The baseball. I mean, all 3 of the home teams lost. Like, I really don't know what to do with these playoff baseball games. Like, in terms of like who's actually going to win. Like, I agree that the Mets are going to score 4 runs. 100%.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think the Orioles could too, but I don't. They're a strong maybe.
Yeah, the Orioles are like. They sometimes just are asleep for a week, and that's kind of what they were yesterday. I mean, they didn't score a run, right? It was 1-0.
Yeah, no, that's what you're scared of them. Like back to the Magic theory, they might not be Magic.
Yeah, I mean,
the opposite of Magic.
Yeah, whatever the opposite, real. I don't know.
Unmagic.
Yeah. I mean, as a Phillies fan, I was hoping the Brewers win that series. I want no part of the Mets. I mean, the Mets are like they're team of destiny vibes out of the Mets.
The home run by Lindor sealed it for me the other day. I was like, yeah, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Like for everybody, because why would they not?
Yeah. Like I said, I was hoping the Brewers won. I wanted no part of the Mets. Don't think that's going to happen. So now I just can't be a loser about it, but.
I can't believe I don't have a 30% boost. FanDuel, if you're listening, man, throw me a 30% boost. Throw everybody one. Give everybody a 30% boost.
Let me bet $100 on it.
Baseball today. Just so I can have $100 on a game. It can be plus money, even though it's barely plus money, but it makes me feel better about myself. That you know what I'm saying? I feel like, all right, cool. I got plus money. What did I take then? Maybe I had a 30% profit boost. I used the 30% profit boost. Let's just go on to the next thing. On Mike Evans, maybe that. It was $100.
Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, but maybe that was all sports or some shit. Maybe that's why I thought I had a 30% boost. Whatever the case may be, I took Mike Evans 60+ receiving yards. All right, so he's 59.5 at everywhere. Oh, I'm sorry, at FanDuel. Everywhere else, he is. I'll look him right now. We'll get him on the screen. Everywhere else, he was like something else.
I'm getting a.
He went down. Well, my bad. He went down everywhere else. That ain't good. I like it.
I'm getting a profit boost for FanDuel for just a single bet. So maybe that's what it was.
All right, so he's 65.5 at Fanatics. Everywhere else. So yeah, he's gone down, that's a bad sign for me that he went down like that because he was in the mid 60s. Dude, I don't care. I I think I figured it out with them.
Crack the code?
Yeah, the code's been cracked, dude. Like, he's getting 60 plus. Like, that's the code. The code happened. But I mean, I don't know. For starters, okay, so you're gonna look at the first game. All right, that kind of shouldn't count. Let me get my phone. I'll go through his game log. That one kind of shouldn't count. Like, I can explain this away. Everything I can explain. Who did they play? They played somebody.
You're talking about week 1? Was the Commanders?
Yep. So the Commanders, they went up 37-20. That game started to kind of get away from the Commanders. They did score 2 touchdowns in the second half, but it wasn't like all hands on deck. He still went 61. So 5 for 61, 2 touchdowns. Godwin kind of went nuts, and then the running back. So that's like, okay. Anyways, that would cash us tomorrow night. The Lions, that game, all right, you're like, all right, well, Slop, how come he only got 42 yards? Because he wasn't really running out of the slot. It was Godwin, and the Lions have a slot problem. They went to Godwin. Godwin got theirs. And also, too, Mayfield only threw the ball 19 times that game. The Lions were clearly intent on, like, taking forever to snap the ball and shit, and the Bucks couldn't get off the field either. It was little nickel and dime stuff all the way down the field. So that was a weird game. But again, if he was in a slot, he would have got home easily. The Broncos, he got followed by PS2. So
PS2, I've never heard that nickname, but I love it.
Yep. So he got whatever. You know what I mean? So that doesn't count at all. Like, you would have never taken him that day. Does that make sense? Like, he would have never been on your radar to get that. Last game against the Eagles, and one where, you could probably get loose if you're anybody. He went 8 for 94, got targeted 14 times. Now, opponent obviously matters, so we're going to look at the Falcons. Olave, 8 for 87. So they're number 1. And the guy who lines up outside, kind of everywhere like that. The Chiefs, Rashee Rice, 12 for $110. You know what I'm saying? That's another, okay, like that's a Evans-type guy. Devonta Smith, 7 for 76. He's in everywhere, but he was operating as 1 that night.
Correct. No A.J. Brown.
No Brown. So there's that. You know what I mean? So now, even if you want to go look at the Steelers, which we probably wouldn't, 6 for 85 for Pickens. So every number 1 has kind of had, not a ceiling game, but, a decent one. The Bucks are not favored, which is kind of crazy. I think they win.
Yeah.
I think that was a fake win by the Falcons last week.
100%.
You watched
100%.
that game, it was like, ooh, like that's how you did it. They recovered a punt in the end zone.
Pick 6.
Yeah. Well, that was them, right? The punt?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. All right. So their first touchdown was that. And then the pick 6 was went off some dude's shoulder pads, it looked like, went about 55 feet in the air.
Yeah.
A linebacker, I think it was a linebacker. I think it was like a guy in the 40s, runs under it and just takes it to the house. So there's 14 points right there. And it's like, all right, so those are all fluke. Obviously they happened. No one's taking it away, but you know what I mean? That's if you're counting on that, please get that team in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because those are the teams you look at and all right, dude, they're gonna get waxed in the first round. You know, just because they need some wild stuff to happen for them to be competitive. But anyways, they're still not bad. If you watch Cousins recently, he looks a lot better. I'm probably gonna take his passing yards over. But I'll do that later on. I want to find out more about McLeod. But anyways, he should be competitive enough. This game should go over. It's 43.5. I would think the thing goes over. It is a Thursday night total. So when you take overs on Thursday night, man, that's
you never know.
Yeah, that's hero's work, man. Some night there's man, this sucks, dude. Game is 13-12. You know what I mean? Just not good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do think Evans gets 60 plus. I don't think that's a lot for him. Watching what the Saints were able to do against them, the Chiefs were able to do against them. It's just you can get the ball to your Evans if you're the Bucks. And judging by last week, I mean, he got 14 targets after not getting targeted, against the Broncos. Really, I mean, he got targeted 3 times. But I mean, I just feel like that's going to carry over.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. I mean, Baker Mayfield loves Mike Evans. And I mean, their receivers are banged up too. It's Trey Palmer. I think he's definitely out. And they got another guy, McMillan, who's a hammy, I think, if I remember correctly.
It's plus 116 too, though. So they're like before we go,
it's plus
plus 116. Yeah. Also, too, everyone just moved. If you're looking, everyone went back to 60.5. So they got pushed back immediately. Pinnacle went down to 59.5. They were at 63.5 this morning. They went down to 59.5, and they just went to 60.5.
Huh.
So immediately got pushed back.
That's weird. I never understand like when it just like right up and back like that. Like what happened in the 3 minutes in between? Someone hammered it and then hammered it again.
Probably. I would say like a respectable account probably jumped on it. You would think there's bots. You know what I'm saying? Like somehow, I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, it's above our pay grade.
Yeah, I'll never be that. But you would think maybe there was some sort of alert for somebody. That's what I would do. Like I always think if it was me, I would want to know when certain bets move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of important. So then, I don't know. You would know. So then you could just go in, and if it went to your number or whatever, because this is the time of the week where you need to be hitting shit. So you don't wait for, you know what I'm saying? If you had a target on something, obviously you're gonna wait for injury stuff to come out tomorrow. But like if you had like something you know what I'm saying, like you like, it was you know what I mean, like you would want to hit it first because you know it's going to move, that kind of thing. So like if you're playing the early game and then like the late game is day of the game right before it, now you're taking something else. Does that make sense? But there are two parts of this. You probably wouldn't be taking Evans. You know what I mean?
Last minute.
Yeah, no, exactly. Unless he got moved somehow. But like there are certain guys that you're just not going to take last minute. You know it. You know what I mean? Like generally it's going to be your marquee guys.
Yeah.
Because like I'll be honest, like those numbers are the ones that can really, really fluctuate. Because we're getting mean totals right here. We're getting 60. He's a 120 guy if he has a night. You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so if you are predicting a ceiling, you're probably gonna want to get in on his release just because you want to get there before everybody else does.
Yeah, and he's like I feel like he's a matchup guy too. Like against Patrick Surtain, against Marcus Lattimore, like that's a famous one. Like you're never going to want to take him against like the ceiling cornerbacks, which is not. I mean, people love AJ Terrell. He's not a guy to be scared of. AJ Terrell for the Falcons.
No, I don't. I mean, obviously not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, too, in the Bucs situation, you have one where there's another guy, so there is no need to go at some top flight corner when you have Godwin's on the other. Just throw it to him. Like you can have Evans can have a decoy game. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's no need to force feed him. But then after those games are probably the games where you want to go right to him. Where we're one game after, which sucks, but still, I'm doing it anyways.
I think the one game after, it's all about the matchup for me. Like I guess who the Bucs play. Like if the Bucs played the Saints this week, you wouldn't be on Mike Evans. You know what I mean? Like it's all
exactly. But then you'd wait until I guess you'd wait until the first game where he has a good matchup like that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And if he has two good matchups in a row, it's not like he's incapable of having two good games in a row. So I'm with it. You mentioned the guy. I mean, so I have one bet locked in right now. It's Bijan Robinson receiving yards.
Okay.
I took him over 24.5 at -110. Looks like right now that 24.5 is mostly pretty much nuked. I mean, my logic was like, at that point in time, it was either over 24.5 at -110 or it was 30 plus at +116. And in my opinion, it wasn't worth it. Normally I'm on in line with you. We're like, all right, just pump that up so you can get plus money. But when we're talking like 25 to 30, like that's a pretty big deal. With someone whose receiving prop is as low as it was. So I just went the safer route. Again, over 24.5 at -110. It looks like, it looks like if you're going to take it right now, you can get the 24.5 at -130. You can get the 26.5 at -113. At this point in time, the people currently listening it, because obviously they can't go back in time, I probably would just take it to 30 plus at this point, wherever you can find the best plus price at 30 plus, because the only reason why I took the over 24.5 was because I got it at -110. You know what I mean? And like that -110 is not available anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a price thing.
Yep.
But regardless, I love this matchup for Bijan Robinson and his receiving prop. I mean, you mentioned it. Give me a line on Ray McLeod, please. Like, what are these books are terrified. Bijan Robinson's questionable, and
he's hurt. I know. I think they know Bijan's playing.
But I guess if they had a price offer Ray and then he missed, then that just gets canceled. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like there's extra risk on the book's perspective.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm trying to figure out what they're thinking. Like, Mooney was not available this morning. So the idea that Mooney just came out at 45.5 would tell me maybe McLeod's not playing.
Yeah, and if he doesn't play, that would be a bummer, because I think like he's one of those guys where his price comes out at like 24, like kind of like Bijan numbers, 24.5. And he is the third target on this team.
Yep.
He is. He's above Kyle Pitts. Yeah. And he gets all these plays designed specifically for him, which I love. Like he is, I think he's second on the team. So Bijan Robinson leads the team in design targets, and Ray McLeod is tied for second in design targets. So anyways, we're talking about Bijan.
Where are you getting design targets from?
Fantasy points.
Okay.
There's first read targets and there's design targets, which is kind of confusing, but like the difference is like, okay, he's just the first read in the progression and you go on.
No, that's design. That makes sense.
Yeah. Design target is like, no, this is like a rollout that like, this guy is for him, or I'm throwing it into the ground. That's the difference.
Yeah.
But for Bijan, with Vita Vea back, you can't run on the Bucks. And that's why I like his receiving props. Like the Eagles, I mean, like Saquon Barkley, if you look at his stats, had a fine game. He kind of broke one off late when that game was over, and the Bucks were like, sure, you can run the ball all you want. Like this, then they score. They were down by Eagles down by like 20 plus points. And Bijan, he hit this in week 1, and he's hit this in 3 of the 4 games, which admittedly makes me a little bit nervous. But the books haven't quite caught on yet. They still pricing it at 24.5, and he's got the highest catch rate on team, 93.8%, because he gets all these dink and dunk targets. And running backs have done damage against the Bucks this year. They've allowed 6.5 receptions to running backs in about 60.8 yards, which again, that's both the second most in the NFL, both receptions and yards allowed to running backs. And like, it could be a Tyler Algier game, which would be frustrating. Again, like that's kind of why probably this number is as low as it is because they're splitting work more than you would think between him and Algier, which Algier is good. So like that's fine. And the Bucks also, the reason why I like McLeod is they play zone at literally the highest rate in the NFL. They play number 1, the highest rate of zone coverage. And Bijan is third on the Falcons in terms of routes, yards per route run against zone coverage, which means like if they're playing zone, he checks it down to Bijan, and then he will kind of just scamper a little bit. And Ray McLeod leads the Falcons in that category, which is why I love Ray. But so Bijan Robinson, we'll go ahead and take him at 30 plus now, which I believe, looking at the screen, the best offered price is you're on reception. So I think it was plus 120 at ESPN Bet. I'll pull that up.
Yeah, I'll get over there.
Plus 120 at ESPN Bet plus 120, 30 plus receiving yards for Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, I was thinking if you have that boost at FanDuel at 30%, then you could use it and get, I mean, that would give you it would give you close to, it wouldn't be plus 120, but it would be plus money on Bijan over 26.5. And
it'd be 26.5. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. Like, it's not going to be plus 120. So
yeah,
that's not bad. That's I used mine on Evans, and I'm pretty happy with that. It looks like 59.5 across the board now. So that's where we're going to settle at minus 113. I don't want to see it go down more. I'm not that much of a closing line guy, but I am when I get closing line value. When I don't get closing line value, then it means nothing.
Correct. Yeah.
100%.
So,
yeah. Receptions. I'm very interested in Bijan over 3.5 at plus money. I think that is good. I don't think he's that hurt.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think he'd be out there if he was. I mean, I know it's a divisional game, but like, I don't know, it's pretty early in the season to be, you know what I'm saying, trotting him out there with a hamstring injury. McLeod, I think, is hurt, which changes things. I was looking at Darnell Mooney's longest reception. It's 19.5 yards at FanDuel. That's not that bad, but I don't love that against the Bucks. But at the same time, Kirk will target him deep.
Oh yeah, yeah. He loves Mooney. I mean, he hates Kyle Pitts. And London is mostly just like a receptions guy at this point. Like he's not getting yards. Mooney is their deep threat. And he loves him. He loves Mooney.
Yeah, he'll be the guy that's going to get you the yards. But he has to keep it deep one. That's why I'm not really a big Mooney guy. Passing wise, I think Kirk, I mean, if you want 225.5 minus 20, minus 121 Caesars, I think he has to get that. I know they're favored, but I don't know that they win, dude.
I agree with you. I don't think they win. I took the Bucks. I mean, I don't like not as like an official bet, but like I do picks against the spread for Newsweek, and I took the Bucks.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's just one. Yeah, Kirk is 229.5 at Pinnacle, and you can get 225.5 at BetMGM, 225.5 at Caesar. So if you want to get that, I'm pretty sure you'd have to lock that in now.
Yeah.
Which I might do that. I might do 225 plus at FanDuel, like in that SGP.
Yeah.
Or 200 plus, you know what I'm saying? I'll water it down a little bit, but I think he's gone 200 every game except the first one, which doesn't even count. And played football in forever. I think what you saw last week is what he is. They played with a lead, so that helps. But I think no matter what, he goes over that number. And again, we're getting a good number, man.
Yeah, I mean 224.5 if you want a little more juice at minus 125, but I mean, at that point, I would take the 225.5 because like that's such a low percentage that he ends.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if it was, the
obviously it could happen, but come on. If you're worried about that, you probably wouldn't be gambling.
Yeah, and these numbers are so high. It's like to land on one singular yard is such a low percentage chance.
Yep. And Baker, looking at FanDuel, if you got him at 241, everybody else is 235.5. Well, not everybody. I love him. Two other books. There's a 240.5 hanging out there. 249.5. So 250.5 is plus 115 at ESPN. That's crazy.
Yeah, I love when FanDuel is like different than the market because it makes me like, okay, FanDuel knows something. Like we said, I think we talked about this yesterday or maybe it was Monday. Whatever day we talked about it, FanDuel is like confirmed sharp when it comes to these yards props. So when they're different from the rest of the market, they know something.
Yep. So 241. Oh, DraftKings just came to market. 241.5 at BetOnline as well for Baker. So them and FanDuel are in agreement, which makes me feel very good about any 235.5 or whatever. So if you're looking for something like that, I think we see a passing. I think that game goes over. I think we're going to see some passing. I don't know that we're going to get a bunch of 300s or 300 games out of these guys, but I mean at the same time, like. Seconds per play, Atlanta's 27.4. That's third fastest in the NFL. If they play with a lead, we might be okay because Tampa Bay goes kind of slow, 31.2. Last game, though, they were in the 20s, 29. So, I don't know. That only equals out to a play or two a game, the difference. But still, I'll take it.
It could be the play that gets them over.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll have some more official stuff, but that was kind of like
sneak preview.
Like I said, well, I mean, I'm only comfortable betting Evans right now. You know what I mean? Like, and then there are a couple, like I said, the passing ones I'll probably do later on today. Once we get more Ray news, you know, that kind of opens things up. But Bijan maybe. But I mean, like I said, we have time. The only one I thought I had to get in on, which I might be wrong on that, but that I didn't have to get in on it. I still think he goes 60 plus. I don't see a scenario where he does not go 60 plus. So, because Thursday nights are kind of not vanilla offenses, but it's you go with what you do. You know what I'm saying? You're not introducing new stuff.
Yeah, you don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, these guys are jumping on a plane like a couple days after playing.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing? So basically, okay, well, Evans, he is an integral part of that offense, so he's probably going to be utilized. You know what I mean? And nothing. I don't think we see new wrinkles. I think it's just play the hits.
Yeah.
You know. All right, man. I'll talk to you tomorrow. If you want to follow Matt and all he does on the internet, follow him at Twitter at Jedi Modi. Everything's going to be there. It's his YouTube, his Newsweek articles, maybe his OnlyFans. I don't know. Whatever he's got going on, it's going to be at Twitter. Same with me at Slop Rules. We're going to be back on this channel later today, probably 4 o'clock, running through the tools at Odds Jam. So that should be fun. We'll see you then. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for listening.